Blog Talk Radio.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio's, the Incoherent Ramblings of C&E. Christopher and Eric are your hosts, coming to you live from Greensboro, North Carolina, as we do every Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Our intro music is provided from the Podshow PodSafe Music Network. Check it out at music.podshow.com. Also, feel free to email your topics for discussion, suggestions, and comments to incoherentramblings@live.com.
Here we are. This is Christopher.
This is Eric.
How are you doing today, Eric?
Good. How about you?
I'm doing well. We are broadcasting live from the internationally famous C&E studios here in Greensboro, North Carolina. Beautiful day.
It is gorgeous.
Autumn.
Yes. Warmer than it has been.
But still low humidity.
Yeah.
And if you're not in the sunshine, it's cool.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Very nice. It got cold there for a while.
It got chilly.
Frost in the morning.
Frost, yes. Frost on the plants, but not enough to kill anything.
Yeah. Anyway.
Eric is back with us this week. He was not here last week. Well, he was live on location.
I called in for a story or two.
You were live on location.
And I listened. I called in and listened at the end. I didn't interrupt.
No.
It was a funny story. I can't remember what it was.
The woman who says she's won the lottery.
Yes.
Buy everybody a Coke.
Yes. Yes. Oh my God.
Started absolute mayhem.
That was bizarre.
People were looting and rioting. They were behaving worse than her. So if someone wanted to call us, if we actually had someone that were going to call us, how could they do that?
They could call in just as I did by calling 646-716-6928.
Yes, they could.
If they want to raise their hand while they're listening and talk, they can. I think hit the one or something.
Press 1.
Tells them how to do it.
Yeah, and unfortunately, if you use Click Talk, which if you go to blogtalkradio.com/incoherent ramblings, you can find out how to do Click to Talk. Unless you have a tone generator, there's really no way to raise your hand. You can click to talk, but how do you raise your hand? So,
well, I apologize for not being here last week.
That's not a problem.
I'm renovating a home, taking some time. I may miss another show.
Yes,
maybe not. We'll see. But I'm here today.
You are here today. That's all that counts.
Prepared with my stories from last week.
We're not going to worry about the past, and we're not going to dwell on the past or worry about the future.
There you go.
We're in the now.
We're living in the now.
We are living in the now. One of our favorite organizations, isn't it? The National Organization of Women.
Yeah.
It's speaking of now. So yes, we are here now, both of us, live. And in addition, going to the Blog Talk Radio site, you can go to MySpace, Facebook, Twitter,
and iTunes.
You can download our shows for free.
Subscribe. Every time one comes out, boom.
It just happens. Automatically. It just happens. It just appears.
Yes. On
your computer, and then it'll sync up to your iPod or whatever listening device you may use. Please go subscribe. Say good things about us, even if you don't mean it. We are.
I was sidetracked by your colon cleanser advertisement there.
Yes, Reveal colon cleansing. Yeah, they're all scams. You want a good colon cleanse, just go with me over to the either a Mexican restaurant that I have in mind or a Japanese restaurant.
Did you have Japanese recently?
No. Okay. I left your present?
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, there's a story behind that. I won't go into that on air. It's not all entirely what you think. Anyhow, you know, if you go and you just hang out with me and eat what I eat, you won't need these scam colon cleanses.
Right.
I will make sure your colon is properly. It may not be cleansed, but it will be empty. We mentioned on our show actually about a magnet bumper sticker that says, "Ask me about my colonoscopy."
Yes.
I was in a retail location recently and saw some napkins. They were for birthdays, and it said something about I'm at the age. It made reference to colonoscopy, and it had the word on there, and I always bought them because how often are you going to come across napkins that say colonoscopy?
You could take them camping.
Yes, we could. That's what I was thinking about doing. Give them to our the gentleman who likes to talk about that.
Yes.
So our next camping trip will be Memorial Day weekend of 2010. Looking forward to it.
Something to look forward to.
Yes. Something to get us through the cold, dreary winter that hasn't even started yet. But so we are here back. Well, we welcome Stuck in the 70s, who comes and hangs out with us. Helps him wind down from the day, so we lull him to sleep, so he can get a good night's sleep and be ready to go to work on Friday. So, well, we have some. We have plenty of stories. I don't know if we have plenty. We have some stories.
We have some stories.
You have some stories that you have prepared for last week,
right?
That you were not able to get to,
right?
So,
did you have any good news? I thought I had a good news story.
Something somewhere a woman lost her fingers or dismemberment or something like that.
Oh.
You were telling me was a good story. I actually have two feel-good stories today.
Okay, well tell me. Read one and I'll find a good
story.
Well,
you're still working on it.
I am.
If you weren't blind or if you would wear your glasses, you could email all these stories and we can have them up here like I have.
Right. But you think I could read that far away?
I do.
I can't.
Well, baby,
I'm further away than you are. I'm further away than you are.
Okay. Anyhow,
maybe we put it on the screen.
I'm sure that a lot of people have heard this story.
I hadn't.
Or seen it. You had not.
So it was new to me.
Well,
and the video was online.
It was Melbourne, Australia, where this mother pushed her 6-month-old baby stroller in front of a moving train. Okay, that's not really what happened. In all seriousness, it was very serious. If you've seen the video, it's kind of disturbing, even though nothing bad happened. A lady was waiting for the train, and she had let go of the stroller, and apparently there is a slight downgrade from where you stand to wait for the train to the actual track, and the stroller commences to rolling, falls off of the terminal area onto the track just like a second prior to the train running over it with a 6-month-old baby inside of it. Runs over the stroller and pushed the stroller for 130 feet before the train was able to stop. All the resources that I saw, MSNBC, CNN, and all of them were basically calling it a miracle because the baby was completely unharmed, a slight scratch or bump on the head. Other than that, unharmed. You would think any living object that fell in front of a moving train and was pushed for 130 feet would be dead. I mean, there's no question about it. And when I first saw the video, I was actually at my automobile dealership, and I didn't hear it. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe they're actually showing that. Because, what I saw obviously meant that, the baby was dead. But unfortunately, it was not. The police said that people should be cautious in train stations. We're making a public service announcement right here on the Incoherent Ramblings. Be careful in train stations. Because, that's what the police are recommending now.
Right. Well, you'd think there'd be a lip there or something to keep that from happening. That stroller just literally just rolled right off the edge.
Right.
And then the shock the mother must have been
going through. Maybe the lip. I agree. And I was thinking of that, but maybe if it were much of a lip, it would cause people to trip going onto the train, which would cause lawsuits here in America, probably there too.
Right.
Yeah, and Stuck in the 70s says he would like to have a car made by the buggy company And you were saying that before, and I thought it got run over.
I said that's a ring endorsement for that buggy.
It was pushed, yeah. And the kid was safe. Now, I think we all know that if it had run over it, obviously, the weight ratio, it would have been crushed and the child would have been killed. But being pushed in front of a train for 130 feet and whatever's inside of it is safe, then yeah, I mean, that's, like you're saying, that's a ringing endorsement. I think probably in England, Australia, a lot of people will probably be purchasing these baby strollers because I think that's a good quality. That's an excellent point there. So you have a story?
I have a good story. This one came back from October 12th. I'm a week behind on this one. I hope you didn't talk about it last week.
Where a boy was, he lost both of his limbs in a bicycle
No, but he did hit a hole-in-one days after his surgery. So an 8-year-old Virginia boy is celebrating a huge accomplishment just 6 days after brain surgery. He hit a hole-in-one. Jonathan Britton was born premature with a condition called hydrocephalus, bleeding of the brain, and has since endured 8 brain operations. The latest one came last month. Less than a week later, the young boy recovered well enough to join his father, Jeff, and his 2 brothers on their local golf course, playing his favorite hole, the 9th, a par 3 over water. Jonathan was perfect. Hit a hole-in-one.
Well, did he tee off from the ladies?
He doesn't say.
Because, you have the lady with half a brain, they could go on tour together.
I have that story for myself as well. A woman with half a brain stuns doctors. This is kind of a good story. Michelle Mack has turned medical thinking upside down. Born with only half a brain, she can speak normally. She graduated from high school and has an uncanny knack for dates. I said, she has half a brain, and what did Kristen?
I said, don't all women.
That's terrible.
Well, we have like 2 female listeners, and both of them are full, so it doesn't matter. All the rest of our listeners are guys.
Doctors determined that the right side of her brain had essentially rewired itself to make up for the function. Basically, the reason I even printed this story, her left side of the brain is 95% gone. If you look at the X-ray, you see a brain, you see a cavity.
Wow.
It's amazing. So she has fairly normal language.
Does she play golf?
I don't know. But maybe if she does, she should do it after brain surgery. A week after brain surgery.
Yeah, an 8-year-old kid just being able to make par on par 3 is impressive. In my opinion, anybody making par other than Tiger Woods and the elite like him is impressive because I find it to be very difficult.
Right.
I'm
right there with you.
Here's a story. Someone, a lot of our stories are about heroism, but this is one where people are doing things to help out homeless or their communities. Green Bay, Wisconsin, or as they say, Wisconsin. A Wisconsin priest is auctioning off his late mother's collection of old silver pieces to raise money for a homeless shelter. The Reverend Guy Blair donated 14 silver items, including 5 sugar urns dating back to the 1790s. Other pieces include vases and coffee and teapots. Tim Rigdon, a director at Heritage Auctions, says some of the items, the sum of the items' minimum bids is $21,000. Blair hopes to get at least $50,000. He says that would cover the shelter's costs for a few weeks. The proceeds benefit St. John's, the Evangelist Church shelter in Green Bay. Blair's mother died in July. He says she agreed with him and his 4 sisters that the silver would do the most good if it were sold for a worthy cause. The auction is November 10th in Dallas. So if you are a silver collector and perhaps a wealthy person, maybe you might look into this.
There you go.
Because it would be for a good cause. And that must be, it says 14 silver items, but they must be quite large because silver, is a lot less expensive than gold. So, but I thought that was, they could have been greedy. Get $50,000 added to the state, split between 5 siblings. That's another $10,000 per person. But yet they were all agreed to donate it to the homeless.
To the homeless. Well, I have a story about the homeless.
Wow,
that is a good story. Uplifting.
About beatings?
No, rags to riches. Tramp bags fortune in bottles.
Mm-hmm.
This comes from Moscow. A 63-year-old homeless Russian man has gone from the street life to a stock market trader after collecting thousands of empty booze bottles for cash. Pictured in a majestic purple suit and matching violet jewelry. This Leonid Konovalov told the paper that he collected around 2,000 bottles a day over the past year since the economic downturn hit Russia last autumn. Russians are drinking a little bit more due to the crisis, and it has helped me to get out get more bottles out of the rubbish dump, he says. Basically, it says they get about, a glass bottle fetches about 2 rubles, which is about 6 cents. So I just did the quick math by hand, so I don't know if I'm right, but I come up with $37,000 is what he made last year.
Wow.
Collecting bottles.
It says that the economic downturn doesn't sound like there's been much of one if they can drink that much booze.
No doubt.
It's not cheap.
Be a good business to be in. The booze business.
Apparently so.
Vodka.
Well, good for him.
Yeah.
Got out, went through the rubbish.
Mm-hmm.
Not the most pleasant of things, but
yeah.
That's actually a good story. Someone taking control of their life and turning it around. So.
And I guess he's taking that money now and he's invested it in the stock market.
Good for him. And he's got a flair for the finer things in life.
Yes.
Purple suits.
And violet jewelry.
Yeah, violet jewelry.
That's one thing I'm missing in my life right now. It's the violet jewelry. I need some violet jewelry.
I have quite a bit of jewelry, and I don't have any that's violet. I will have to admit. So maybe we have.
I mean, I've got the majestic purple suit.
Yeah.
I'm just missing the violet jewelry.
Yes, we all are. So we're good for Leonid over there in the country.
Speaking of being able to turn garbage into cash, this story comes from Taipei. It's called Fetch. The city pays for dog poo. A city in central Taiwan is offering shopping vouchers to volunteer dog waste collectors in a bid to clean up a perennial problem caused by the large number of stray animals island-wide. City officials said there's a population of 1 million that said on Wednesday the Environmental Protection Bureau would give vouchers worth 100 Taiwan dollars, which is $3 in U.S. currency, for every kilo of dog poo collected. In areas of the city especially affected, the reward will be for every half kilo. So, if you're hurting for money in Taiwan, collect some dog poo.
Start getting some bags.
I mean, they're getting more for dog poo than Lena was getting for bottles.
And look at it, he's turned his life around.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you really were an entrepreneur and didn't mind the smell, you could rack up there.
That's right.
In Taipei. Where is Taipei?
Where's Taipei?
Mm-hmm.
It's an island.
I don't even know how to spell it.
It's
It's the largest city in Taiwan.
Yeah.
I thought that it was Taiwan. I just wasn't really sure. So, there we go. Taipei. And your phone is vibrating.
That's right.
It is, sorry, folks. Always seem to have distractions. Well, that if that's a good idea. I mean, seriously,
it really is.
I pick up my own. When I walk Bella, I pick up her food.
I mean,
and no one's paying me for it.
Stray dogs, though.
Right. Well, trust me.
Have you picked up any stray dog poop while you're out and about?
Occasionally, if it's fresh and it's a big steaming pile, and I know that if I was half asleep or if it were dark, I would probably step in it. I'd pick that up.
Did anybody pay you $3 for it?
No, absolutely not. But what I was thinking today, on my walk today, this morning with Bella, I saw enough dog poop that I honestly think I could have filled up the grocery bag that I was carrying, the plastic bag I was carrying. I honestly believe I could have. That's how much I saw. It's ridiculous. And, you know, a lot of times I say I'm the only one that picks up. Now, I don't know if there's any way to prove I'm the only one that picks up. I know that I don't see anybody else pick up. And I know that, you know, today I saw about 100 times the amount of poop that I picked up from Bella. So I don't really think other people are picking up.
Right.
But maybe it's because they aren't being paid.
Maybe you'd see 200 times.
Yes.
If people that were picking up stopped.
Exactly. I still don't think other people are picking up. I might just move to Taipei.
There you go.
I'm going to pick up Bella's anyhow, pick up the other people and get paid. And then I'm going to get me a majestic purple suit. And some violet, like, diamond stud earrings.
Glory.
That would be awesome.
And then play the market.
Here's, you know, I'm pretty sure everybody's got a parking ticket from time to time. Here's a story about a guy that's got $19,000 worth of parking tickets. He's a race car driver, and he has a nickname. I don't understand what it is, but it's 7X's. And apparently, he lives in Birmingham, Alabama. Apparently, the police officers and the software that they use to record parking violations and tickets and things such as that, if the car does not have a license plate, they just put 7X's. Well, apparently he is getting all those tickets. He says the mix-up has led to him receive as many as 10 tickets in a day. And right now it's up to about $19,000 in tickets. So they're thinking about changing the system to keep him from receiving more tickets. And they say maybe they should just leave that part blank altogether. Before the show, you and I were discussing that maybe he shouldn't say anything, and this gives him carte blanche on, he could park in handicapped spaces in the fire lanes. He can be like, oh, that wasn't me. And they would believe him.
Makes me want to go out and get one from North Carolina. That 7X's.
So, there we go. And I have something right here, and I was afraid it was going to be a video. Is it a video? No, it's brand new. Okay.
Late breaking news.
This is breaking news. So I'm just going to go right to it. Okay. We talk about on our show.
This story is updated in 2 hours and 28 minutes.
Yeah, but when I was doing my prep earlier today, it wasn't there.
Right.
Yes, this is hot off the press. We talk about mobility scooters. We talk about DUIs.
Right.
A lot on this show. We've even talked about people getting DUIs on mobility scooters and makeshift mobility scooters, rotting lawnmowers.
Mm-hmm.
One was a bar stool.
That's right.
Sitting on a rotting lawnmower. And he was driving to the bar.
Right.
Take your own stool. Bring your own stool. BBYS.
Right. Bring your own stool.
Well, here's a guy. Man pleads guilty to DWI and lazy boy. Excuse me. Duluth, Minnesota. A Minnesota man has pleaded guilty to driving his motorized lazy boy chair while drunk. A criminal complaint said 62-year-old Dennis Leroy Anderson told police he left a bar in northern Minnesota town of Proctor on his chair after drinking 8 or 9 beers. Prosecutors say Anderson's blood alcohol content was 0.29, more than 3 times the legal limit when he crashed into a parked vehicle in August 2008. He was not seriously injured. Police said the chair was empowered by a converted lawnmower and had a stereo and cup holder. And there's a picture here, and it has headlights on the armrest.
Headlights.
And then he's
I
got
wonder if he reclines when he drives.
Oh, well, it depends on how much he's had to drink, I would say. Better question is, does he sleep while he drives?
That's right.
Well, that combines a lot of our things.
It does.
You know, makeshift mobility scooters, drunkenness, and criminal, basically vehicular weirdness. So,
whatever the seatbelt.
There doesn't appear to be, but it does have cup holders.
It does have cup
and headlights. I mean, this is pretty advanced.
It is.
And then, you know, we're going to have to give a little shout out to our unofficial sponsor.
Hey, Bernice and Joy, tell everyone which power wheelchair got you to the Grand Canyon.
Hop around. No one's free to see the world.
With a hover-round, you truly are.
With a hover-round, you can drink and drive at 8 miles an hour.
But you can't recline.
You can't. This is true. You cannot. You know, that's a good point. Because this guy, that's a great picture. And, of course, you know, he's got the emblem up on the headrest of a NHRA, which is a racing.
Right.
It's not like NASCAR, but it's a racing association. So, a funny story there for you guys. You have something to share with us?
I do. This was a listener submitted from this morning. Woman makes fake 911 call, then calls again as garage door crushes her in fatal mishap.
I thought that was going to be your feel-good story.
This comes from Caldwell, Idaho. Police say an Idaho woman who made a false 911 call to lure paramedics out of their station made a real emergency call minutes later when she got trapped under the station's garage door. Melissa Ferris died October 2nd of injuries suffered when she was crushed by the closing garage door of the Canyon County station. Ferris, a former paramedic at the station, had been trying to crawl under the door after the ambulance left to respond to a non-existent traffic accident she called in a few minutes earlier. Caldwell Police Chief Chris Allgood says that he may never know why Ferris was trying to gain access to the station. But according to a police report obtained by KBCI-TV, her sister told investigators that Ferris may have been going after prescription medication stored in the station. So the listener that submitted it called me this morning and told me that they actually played the 911 call. I couldn't find it for our listeners. But and that she called and said, I'm driving down such and such road, and I just saw an accident. The car flipped over, and I'm pulling over now to go see what I can find out happened. And it sounds like she's pulling over and gets out and starts running. But my battery's getting ready to die. I'll call as soon as I get there, and then goes dead. Right. And then apparently she was in a hotel right across the street from the fire station or wherever, the paramedic station. And as soon as they left, she ran over there trying to get in and got crushed into the door. So, that's interesting.
It is interesting. It's kind of like there's a Bible verse that says, be sure your sins will find you out. Doesn't exactly fit, but
right.
That's why my mom used to tell me that I should not joke about serious things, like joking about people joking about their child being born retarded, or
right.
She says you shouldn't joke about things like that because what if it were to happen? I'm not saying that she's superstitious and thinks it would happen because you're joking about it, but it seems it's kind of ironic.
It is.
She made a fake 911 call and then she actually needed them.
Right.
Well.
Apparently they weren't there to save her time because.
That's unfortunate for her. Oh, that is weird because there's no way they can know what her motive was.
Right.
I mean, they can speculate, but I mean, there's really no way to know. Maybe she was unstable. That's usually what I go do. I usually either go with drunk or unstable. And maybe she was both.
Or disgruntled.
Disgruntled.
She worked there.
We were sent live by a listener, Rags to Riches story, and I'm not going to read all of it because it has what appears to be English lettering, but words I can't pronounce. So apparently this is the Queen's English and not the American bastardized version. Nonetheless, there was a flag flown from a warship. It was the Union Jack, and it was it was flown from one of the Nelson's warships during the battle off the Spanish coast in 1805, and they were expecting it to get around 15,000 pounds. It sold at auction for 384,000 pounds.
Wow.
A little bit more than they were expecting. So more than 20 times the predicted price. So that's kind of a cool story there. But it was apparently someone with.
How'd they end up with it? I wonder it sold it.
I don't know. I wasn't able to read the story. Let's see. I don't know, but someone bought it for a lot of money.
Yeah. And
that's a pretty cool story. What's 384,000 pounds
in American dollars?
Yeah. Do you have a converter?
I don't.
Well, my goodness. Why don't you? It changes.
It doesn't go as far as it used to.
It changes every day, but here we go. What did I say? 384,000 pounds. 384,000 pounds, and we multiply that times 1.6593, and that would be $637,000. That's
an expensive flag.
That is an expensive flag.
I couldn't afford that flag.
I could not either. So, well, thank you for sharing that story with us. Someone who they think they're going to get a much smaller amount of money, and now they're
set.
No, they're probably somewhere in the Caribbean.
Yeah, they're probably wearing a.
I don't even know where you're going with this. I don't know if I want
some velvet jewelry.
Probably wearing a majestic purple suit.
Yes, a majestic purple suit and some velvet jewelry.
Yes, probably so. You're right. Well, here's a story. Speaking of relics from wars of the past.
Yes.
The Civil War buff faces felony. Uniontown, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania Civil War buff faces a felony charge for accidentally firing a 2-pound cannonball through the wall of his neighbor's home. William Masser, 54, has been charged with reckless endangerment, one of our favorite charges, criminal mischief, and disorderly conduct. Authorities on Thursday added a felony count of discharging a firearm into an occupied structure. Also Thursday, Masser waived his rights to a preliminary hearing on all the charges. He has acknowledged firing a homemade cannon outside his house in George Township, about 40 miles southeast of Pittsburgh, in early September. The cannonball, about 2 inches in diameter, ricocheted and hit the neighbor's home about 400 yards away, smashing through a window and a wall before landing in a closet. Nobody was hurt. We were discussing this earlier, and I personally think the charge.
I wonder how the police even got called to begin with.
They don't say.
I mean, if the neighbors,
they don't say anything about the neighbor being upset. Nobody was hurt. Right. I don't know. The story doesn't go into that. But
if you actually shoot a cannon in my house, I'm not going to call the police.
Well, I understand you have to have laws, and you have to have things in place. And if you live like in certain areas, you can't fire firearms, you can't shoot cannons.
Right.
I understand. I understand having a law against shooting a cannon, especially at your neighbor's house. But he wasn't doing it on purpose, and the charges just seem a bit harsh to me. I mean, the misdemeanor stuff, it seems a little overdone, but then when they throw on the felony, I mean, this guy could be a felon for really, I mean, when the DAs are cutting deals to felons, giving them misdemeanors left and right.
He'd probably get off on
Hopefully they'll deal it down.
I'm sure they will.
But it just seems a little aggressive.
It does.
Against someone who's not a criminal as far as criminal intent.
Right. Right.
So, but still, I thought it was kind of funny because the home was 400 yards away. It's 1,200 feet. That's almost a quarter of a mile, right?
Uh-huh.
And it still had enough velocity to go through a window and through a wall. So that kind of caught my attention there. So you have something to share with us?
This comes from our home city.
Not only our home state, but right here in Greensboro.
This was going to happen this last week. It was October 10th. Wrong man jailed for a week in North Carolina. Came from Greensboro, like we said. Authorities say a 44-year-old North Carolina man spent a week in jail because he had the same name as a suspect 23 years his younger. The News and Record of Greensboro reported Saturday that Jesse Ray Hardy, Jr. of Greenville was arrested Monday, then taken to jail 160 miles away to face charges of resisting an officer, breaking and entering, and failing to yield to a pedestrian. Court officials say the real suspect shares the same name and hometown, but is not related. The mix-up wasn't realized until Friday, despite court appearances in both Pitt and Guilford counties. Judge Susan Bray apologized to Hardy as she worked to get him released. He didn't have a way home, so Bray, prosecutors, defense attorneys, and bailiffs collected the money to buy Hardy lunch and a bus ticket back home. But how can you go for a week?
Surely he was saying something about it.
No doubt I'd be
like, that was not me.
I mean, I'm sure they hear that all the time, but
I mean, 23 years older, seriously.
Right.
I mean,
that's not the brightest police work, I guess.
No.
But I can imagine that. I mean, if I'm in jail for something I didn't do, I'll be damned if I'm going to be in there a week.
Right.
I'll have Obama on the phone.
do Obama know about this?
Obama know about this.
Do he? Because, I mean, that's an injustice.
It is.
But it's not really that big of a deal. He wasn't beaten or anything.
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't made to confess. Now,
it says the judge, the prosecutor, all these people were raising money for, you know how much they raised? To buy him lunch and get on a plane. I mean, a train ticket back home. $58.
They were really
digging deep.
They were.
I don't know what that comes to per person, but
they were given to the cause.
They were feeling his pain.
What I don't understand, here's the part I'm confused about. Our tax dollars pay for a bunch of stuff that I don't think it should pay for. I would have had no problem if our tax dollars were to pay to get him home.
No doubt,
because
they paid to get him here.
That's what I'm not understanding. We went and picked him up and brought him here. Right. Why couldn't we take him back?
Right.
In fact, I think that's what he should have said. You brought me here, you're going to take me home.
Maybe he did.
That's amazing. That is, wow. I don't know. Another story from Wisconsin. Mm-hmm. Shoppers in the grocery store got an unexpected surprise when a 125-pound black bear wandered inside and headed straight for the beer cooler. He had his mind made up. He knew what he was there for. He stopped Friday night at Marketplace Foods in Hayward, about 140 miles northeast of Minneapolis, sauntering through the automatic doors and heading straight for the liquor department. It calmly climbed up 12 feet onto a shelf in the beer cooler, where it sat for about an hour while employees helped evacuate customers and summoned wildlife officials. Officials from the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources tranquilized the animal and took it out of the store. Store workers say the bear seemed content in the cooler and did not consume any alcohol. So I thought it was a cute story. There's a picture of him here as he's entering into the store.
Right.
hanging out. But
I wonder what his beer's choice was.
Old Milwaukee.
It don't get any better than that.
It doesn't. I guess people were kind of scared. I mean, if you see a 125-pound wild animal, but it's not really that large.
Right.
Been around dogs that were bigger.
Right.
And black bears generally aren't aggressive or violent, but he knew what he wanted. He went. I think he's done this before, because they said, I mean, it's like without hesitation. He just goes straight to the department, climbs up on the shelf, and then just hangs out. I mean, how did he know to climb up 12 feet onto that shelf where it was in the cooler?
Right.
I don't know.
He's encased in the joint.
There's a video. I think when the show is over, we might actually watch the video.
There you go.
So, that was a cute story.
That's a cute story. Let me see how you feel about this. Mom arrested for washing kid's mouth with soap.
Oh, God.
I think my mom and dad are guilty.
Lord, hell, what's the world?
A Florida couple is behind bars for some old school discipline. A Palm Bay woman and her boyfriend were arrested Monday for child abuse after the couple went old school to punish their 8-year-old daughter for swearing. They washed her mouth out with soap. We don't know about you, but we would petition President Obama and Congress to make it mandatory for every parent to carry a bar of Irish Spring in their back pockets with all the profanity these kids use today, she was quoted as saying. Police claimed that she and her boyfriend went too far by placing a bar of soap in the girl's mouth and letting it stay there for 10 minutes. Because she didn't intervene with the discipline, eventually the girl vomited. She got concerned, so she took the girl to the hospital, and that's when the police were.
People vomit all the time.
Right. I think 10 minutes might be a little excessive, but
there's really, truly no harm.
There really isn't.
It's not like it's toxic or
it's
poison.
not like she was truly endangered.
Right. Yeah, you know, the thing is, I find this quite interesting. This is where the media, which here in America at least tends to be on the liberal side, this is where I get really confused by the media. There was a story, you know, the wacko that made up the story about his kid being floating around in a balloon?
Yeah.
Everybody's worried about it.
Yes.
And it was all a hoax, which I said, bless you.
Excuse me.
I said from the beginning. A coworker told me about it, and I was like, oh, that kid's not on there.
Right.
They're doing this as a publicity stunt.
Right.
That's what it turned out to be. Well, the funny thing is, apparently they made a video that was on YouTube with the kids. They were like rapping, and it was like it was profanity laced. And the reporter, the journalist, was like, I can't believe these parents, they should be ashamed of themselves allowing their children to use such language. Well, I know it wasn't the same journalist that wrote that story or the police that, you know, the people that put the laws in to say they could get arrested for that. But, I mean, what are you supposed to do? It's like if a police officer uses their gun, they're bad and they're going to be put on probation, unpaid leave.
Right.
If they don't use their gun, they're not protecting the citizens. I mean,
right.
There's got to be some. Why does it have to be an extreme?
Right.
Personally, whether someone were to actually agree with their form of discipline or not, as we stated, the child was not. Soap's not poisonous or toxic. The child was never in any kind of danger, and the worst thing maybe is they left it in there too long. But my father did that to me when I was a child, and I didn't even use profanity. I just lipped off to my mother, and it worked. So, well, I don't believe that they should be arrested for that.
No, I don't either. That's crazy.
Well, here's someone who probably should be arrested.
Who's that?
This comes to us from Switzerland. Authorities say an Italian man took reckless driving to new heights in 11 frantic minutes of traffic violations in eastern Switzerland. They say they first spotted the 47-year-old driver as he sped his Jeep past an unmarked police car at 100 miles per hour in a rainstorm. Driving dangerously close to other cars on the Autobahn. He then allegedly ignored police attempts to pull him over, first with a stop sign and then with flashing lights and sirens. Mm-hmm. Police say the man drove through a construction zone at 87 miles an hour, nearly twice the speed limit, before being stopped. They seized the man's driver's license, and the judge ordered him tested for medications and illegal drugs. Police said Monday the man racked up 15 traffic violations in 11 minutes. We had a story from a gentleman in South Florida, I remember, who had a bunch of speeding tickets and traffic violations over the course of like 3 days.
Right.
But this is 15 in 11 minutes. Maybe they should put soap in his mouth for 11 minutes.
I think you need something more stringent than that.
But yeah, it's like a rainstorm and he's driving 100 miles an hour.
It's construction zone, 87. Yeah. Well, he did slow down for it, though.
13 miles off. Yeah, he took a little off the top.
Right.
Because he's safety-minded.
Yes. Oh. Anyway, I don't know why I found this funny, but Portland man gets probation after stabbing ex-girlfriend's pet fish. I didn't find it necessarily funny, but anyway, first of all, look at this guy. Does he look creepy? Yeah. I actually had this last week. Did you talk about it?
Yeah, because I remember his creepy eyes.
Right. Did you talk about it last week?
He's disturbed, yeah. But go ahead.
What I found funny about it.
You can bring your insight to the story.
Let's see here. This 27-year-old Southeast Portland man who beat his ex-girlfriend, then stabbed her pet fish, left it impaled in her apartment, has been sentenced for 2 years of probation in a psychological evaluation. First of all, he got off very light.
Right.
Very light. Beat his ex-girlfriend. An attorney for Donald Earl Fite III said he didn't want to talk about the details of the assault, but that stabbing the fish was a very low point in the client's life. Not the beating of the woman.
Yeah, right.
But the low point was stabbing the fish.
Yeah, stabbing the fish.
Not beating the woman,
right.
But stabbing the fish. He is absolutely mortified and ashamed about what he did to the fish.
Right.
Not about beating the woman, but mortified about what he did to the fish, said the attorney. Anyway, it goes on and on, but that's what I thought was
right.
He's not showing any remorse for beating a woman,
right?
But is remorseful about stabbing the fish.
Yeah, that's a little disturbing. I didn't pull that out when I read the story last week, so that's why I want you to go ahead and bring your insight onto it. I did bring out the point that he looked a little disturbed.
That's an understatement.
But I mean, you're right. It
looks like Buddy Holly.
Yeah. But on meth. The thing that you're right. That's disturbing, and now
they only got off on probation.
Right. This is what and I'm not saying they're all this way, but this is why I don't like defense attorneys. Now I know he was saying his client felt badly about it, whatever, but he said this is obviously a low point in my client's life.
Right.
Stabbing a fish. A fish. Stabbing a fish. Something that God put on the earth for us to eat.
Right.
That's why I don't like defense attorneys, right there. No, never mind the fact that he was beating another person.
Right.
Yeah. Good point. I'm pretty much out of stories.
You got the one.
Oh, I have listeners
submitted
stories. I do. I have. Well, actually, I have a short one.
I've got one from London for our listener there.
Go for it.
School fined as girl loses fingers in art lesson. Tell me what you said earlier.
You're supposed to cut off your ear.
A school in eastern England was ordered to pay £19,000, which is about $30,000, Monday after a 16-year-old girl lost nearly all of her fingers when she put her hands in a bucket of plaster of Paris during an art lesson.
Wow.
I thought that was kind of light. $30,000 doesn't seem like a lot to lose almost all your fingers.
She should sell Union Jack.
That's right.
384,000 pounds.
Or maybe she could sculpt something out of that plaster of Paris. Sorry, that's terrible. Teenager was attempting to make a sculpture of her own hands during a lesson in January when the accident happened. The plaster set around her hands, and neither staff nor paramedics could get it off during the lesson. The court was told that temperatures of up to 60 degrees Celsius can be generated in large quantities of plaster, and the girl was not named in court, so suffered terrible burns.
Oh, yeah.
She had a series of 12 operations and was left with no fingers on one hand and just 2 fingers on the other.
That's horrible.
It only got $30,000. I mean, I'm not saying it's all about money.
No.
But that doesn't seem like a fair compensation. The school's governing body admitted breaching health and safety regulations and also failing to report the incident to the health and safety executive.
So she lost all of her fingers on one hand and all but 2 on another.
Right.
So, I mean, how can she? I don't know. That's a horrible story. I mean, I'm not saying she can't live a normal life. She can, but
right.
her day-to-day activities will definitely be impaired. And you're right. It isn't all about the money, but she is definitely limited into what she can do with her life.
Right.
And she should be compensated for that.
Right. And they were definitely neglectful there.
Right. Well, here's
not that I would normally think that plaster of Paris is that dangerous, but apparently it is.
Right. Here's a listener submitted story. Even if they aren't good stories, anytime we have a listener submitted story, we always bring it on the air.
Yes.
This comes to us from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Police said a person believed to be a man disguised as a woman in a black dress tried to steal a bottle of rum and cola drinks from a local drugstore. The store's loss prevention officer unsuccessfully tried to stop the person, who was described as about 20 years old, 6'3", and weighing 300 pounds.
It's a typical woman.
Yeah. Well, that's what's funny, because they said they believed to be a man disguised as a woman. I don't think I've ever saw a female that was 6'3" and weighed 300 pounds. I've seen one that was 6'3".
Too false.
Well, we apologize to our South Dakota listeners. I do. Police said the person, this is the best part of the story, police said the person handed the rum back to the store employee, threw the drinks on the ground, and fled after trying to bite the employee when the worker tried to restrain him. So he's a little feisty.
Yeah. Sounds like Mike Tyson to me.
Yeah. So basically, we have this man dressed as a woman who is going around and biting people.
Right.
When he gets caught trying to steal something. So that was a story submitted to us by a listener. So, and I have another story submitted by a listener, and in the interest of time, I will just read the story. And not go off on the tangent. I found out last week that Stuck in the 70s is a fan of our tangents. Oh, is he? He said tangents are good. But this is, read into it.
We should get off our tangents more.
We should. This comes from the Nation of Islam leader, Louis Farrakhan, who anybody who knows me knows I have no use for him.
Right.
And I think he's just he's evil incarnate. But anyhow, so basically the backstory on this is the H1N1 flu vaccine is the focal point of the story.
Right.
He says the Earth can't take 6.5 billion people. We just can't feed that many. So what are you going to do? Kill as many as you can. We have to develop a science that kills them and makes it look as though they died from some disease. He also added, the 76-year-old leader also added that many wise people won't take the vaccine.
Right.
And basically, another story goes on to say that he it's going to kill millions of people. And the thing that I found to be kind of basically I found to be a little controversial that the listener brought up, and I'm going to go ahead and bring it to the table, is basically Obama's administration has really been behind the H1N1 and has really been pushing this vaccine. Now, obviously, our president didn't come up with it in and of his own, but it has been part of his administration. Has been leading this effort.
Right.
So basically, Louis Farrakhan is indirectly accusing the president of creating a vaccine or spearheading a campaign to create a vaccine to kill millions of people. Regardless of how you feel about our president, I don't think anybody in their right, sane mind would think that he's wanting to kill millions of people.
Right.
So, anyhow.
Yeah, it's a form of mass depopulation.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Louis Farrakhan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, someone I always look to for wisdom. Words of wisdom. So.
He also was quoted as saying that he told the listeners not to become complacent as a result of Barack Obama's election as the United States' first black president.
Mm-hmm.
You have to understand that he was voted in to take on the affairs of the nation, not yours and mine. He is the American president, not the black president, he said.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, Louis Farrakhan really, there aren't many people that I know, I don't know him personally, but that I know of that's full of that much hate. It's really it really is kind of sad. And the thing is, even though I don't like the man, the truth is he's extremely charismatic and well-spoken. And when he talks, it's very, very, he just speaks very well, very charismatically, very intelligent man.
Obviously.
And I just cannot understand I don't understand how someone can be full of that much hate. Right. It's really kind of sad.
Well, my dad told me that we were talking about the gas prices when it was going up. He says the problem is we don't have enough gas. He says we got too many people. So maybe this is their solution to the gas
prices. Yes.
Yeah.
We kill off a couple million people.
Bring gas prices down.
Well,
demand drops.
Here we are. Incoherent rambling. Right. Here's a little side tangent. This is an interesting thing you could point out here. Your dad is saying a listener, actually the listener that submitted that story, actually said his solution to the gas prices and the gas shortage is to ban NASCAR. And I was like, well, they don't really use that much fuel. And he's like, well, wait a second. And he started pointing out the fact that you have, let's say if Bristol, Tennessee holds like 120,000 people in the stadium, no, 200 some thousand people. All those people have to drive to it.
Right.
The cars don't drive there. They rely on semis. And like one team probably has 5 or 6 semis show up. Plus all the staff, you've got all the people, the pit crew and all that. There's, just thousands of people that show up that aren't even there as fans, burning gas. The semis get there burning gas. The drivers that are flying there burning gas in the airplane. And if you go on about it, it's just like you just keep on, and it's like by the time you get done, each race really is being spent on gasoline,
right,
oil, rubber.
You can't ban
NASCAR.
No. I mean, you say, well, we just ban NFL.
Right.
They fly to every game, and they
right.
all the fans that go to it.
But the cars aren't burning gas at the game.
Right.
He wasn't saying you should ban it. He was just saying if you think about it, that's a lot of petro products that are being used for some pretty mind-numbing entertainment.
Yeah.
So anyhow,
we're about out of time.
Yes, we are about out of time. We are under a minute. And anyhow, thank you for listening today. Mm-hmm. Stuck in the 70s, as always, here hanging out with us. And Sunflower J and CA Living, probably someone that lives in California. That would be my guess. Thank you for stopping by. Towards the end of the show here. And go to our website and check out some more information about us and come back.
Go to iTunes, download some past episodes.
Yep. And we'll see you guys next week. Hey, thanks, Stuck in the 70s. Hope you have a good day tomorrow and a good weekend. Talk to you guys later.
This has been Blog Talk Radio's The Incoherent Ramblings of CNE. Christopher and Eric are your hosts, and we would like to thank you for listening to our show today. Don't forget to tune in for next week's show live from Greensboro, North Carolina, as we are every Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time.